Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Once again, 50 Cent is dominating the headlines. This time, the discussion centers around information that never made it into his Netflix documentary about Diddy. According to 50, the project originally contained far more material than could realistically fit into just 4 episodes, forcing his team to remove several important segments. One of those cut portions reportedly involved a personal connection that didn't make the final edit due to time constraints. Rather than holding it for a future season, 50 has suggested that the unreleased footage could eventually be shared on YouTube. Since the documentary aired, he says even more individuals have come forward with additional details, many questioning why he continues to push this topic so strongly. Comedian TK Kirkland recently responded to that question.
Out of all the women in the world that Diddy could have gotten with, he chose 50 Cent's baby mother.
It's a lot of variables to this particular question. Because I talk to a lot of people, older, younger, even my daughter, who's 22, she didn't understand it. So people give their opinion based on what they've experienced and their environment, people they've been around. So to the people that understand boundaries and respect, I always tell men you should never date another man's girl if you're not aware of it. If you know it.
He explained that crossing certain boundaries reflects a deep level of disrespect, stating that throughout his life, he has never knowingly been involved with someone who had previously been connected to one of his friends. For him, that crosses an unspoken rule that should never be violated. He also pointed out that Diddy is not someone lacking options, given his status, wealth, and worldwide access to people from every background, which makes the situation even more troubling. From TK's perspective, this wasn't an accident or a careless decision, but something done deliberately, especially when considered alongside the long-standing tension between Diddy and 50. In his view, their history makes it difficult to see this as anything other than intentional, adding another layer of complexity to an
after the baby mother of one of his rivals.
Exactly.
Someone who had been taking shots at him for years.
Absolutely.
On purpose.
And he went after her knowing that they had beef.
Right. And slutted her out.
Slutted out.
Just slutted her out.
Slutted out.
Having a whole basketball team run a train on her.
Totally,
and
I
just
totally
the whole
agree.
thing, right?
Totally agree.
Right.
But his reputation from when he worked at Uptown, I'll be sure's girlfriend.
Oh, Kim Porter.
Kim Porter.
Right.
That's his reputation.
I'll be sure his baby mother.
Baby mama.
Yeah.
Then Eric Serum, his friend, the one that had she had his baby, Mia. So he's had a reputation of going after people.
Tupac's ex-girlfriend. He got a baby with her too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my point that I'm making to the men listening, well, if you don't understand this, then you're just poorly educated and don't really have common sense. It's a no. There's no way I would go after Vlad's ex-girlfriend.
Right.
I'm so loyal that if I met a woman and she said, "Oh yeah, I used to date Vlad," I can't with you, man.
Right.
I won't even put my, excuse my language, because that's how I move. Other people don't move like that, but you see me in Paris, you see me all over the world. Why would I want to do that to mess up?
While 50 Cent's documentary has received massive attention and widespread praise, not everyone views it as a complete win. Gene Deal has come forward with sharp criticism, claiming that certain parts of the project lacked originality and appeared to borrow ideas without proper credit. According to him, those elements weren't the result of new investigation, but mirrored concepts he had previously discussed himself. His statements have introduced a fresh controversy, shifting part of the conversation away from the documentary's success and toward questions about creative ownership and how the story was constructed.
In an interview about, he said that he had a lot of footage had to be down. The documentary had to be downsized. You understand? I don't really believe that, because a documentary is a documentary, and they could have had 45 minutes. They could have had an hour, to each one of those. You understand? They left out certain things. He said they even left out the one about Sarah Chapman. You understand? And for whatever reason, he probably left out a lot of other different stars too. situations that they could have spoke about. You understand? I have a problem with the documentary, and I'm just gonna let you know that the reason I have a problem with the documentary is that they know that they took my idea. You understand? They know that when I came to them, I laid out what they should do and how the documentary should be. You understand? She could say whatever she want to say. I talked to those producers before I even talked to her. They wanted to know what I had, what I was bringing, my pictures, all that stuff like that. And I told them about me, Tim, and Kirk. You understand what I'm saying? And how it would go. They did the same thing. This ain't the first time they stole from me, man. If you look at the Notorious Big, if you watch the Notorious Big, that part about the shoes, I had that in my book. And I was talking to K.O. Copeland. He was one of the writers of that movie. And I told him about when I let Big use my shoes at Soul Train Award. You had this old flunky ass dude, Mike B, get on Angie Martinez's show and talk about, yo, Big, he wore Mix Max shoes and he went out there and performed. When you go look at the film, when you go look at Big performing that on that show, ain't nothing mixed match about them shoes. There was $800 Maury's, size 14D, Big World 14E. E means that his shoes is a little wider than mine. He struggled, but he put them on and he went out there and performed. Those was my Gators that he had on. You understand? They did a little skit trying to disrespect me in the movie. You understand? And they said something about,
He also addressed the growing speculation that 50 may release additional content online in the future, suggesting that if more footage does emerge, stopping it might be impossible. Gene believes that if there were any real power capable of shutting the documentary down, it would have happened already. To him, the fact that it remains publicly available says a great deal about where influence truly stands behind the scenes. In his view, this raises serious questions about how much control Diddy still holds and whether that power has already begun to fade.
Documentary, and if 50 do another one, and I heard he's going to put it on YouTube or do whatever he's going to do, Puff ain't going to have nothing to do with that. Puff ain't going to have nothing to do to try to stop that because he can't. Because if he could stop it, it would have been stopped. You know why he can't stop it? Because Puff know people right there at Netflix. Don't think he don't. And I don't know if this guy still worked for them, but he was part of the flavor unit, Shakim. He was part of the flavor unit. He was good friends. He was cool with Puff and them. Flavor unit and them, Queen Latifah and them, they was cool with Puff. If Puff would have sent the cease and desist over there and they could do it and he had the power and they wasn't right, they would have been done it. You see it's still rolling, right? It's still going on, right? He ain't got that power no more. You understand? Now, could he sue them because they used his likeness or used him and stuff like that? I don't know. I'm not that versed in they using him. You understand? If they can steal your whole damn idea, your whole damn ideal, why can't they steal your whole damn intellectual property?
Gene went on to speak about what he described as Diddy's long-term fixation on Tupac, suggesting it was never a temporary issue, but something that shaped his mindset for years. According to Gene, this obsession influenced many of Diddy's behind-the-scenes moves, affected key decisions, and played a role in how he handled both personal and professional situations. In his eyes, it became a defining element of how Diddy operated over a long period of time.
I did see the interview that 50 did with Sherry, and he was talking about he didn't release the video about Puff having a kid by Kim Porter's friend, Sarah Chapman. Now, we all know that she used to date Tupac. You understand? So either he got her because he wanted some remnants of Tupac. We don't know. But it seemed like every dude that he had some kind of disdain, dislike, or that he idolized in a sense, he wanted their girl. Or he wanted to be a part of their girl. I don't know why. Yo, bro, this dude was I don't know if he was in love or in hate for Tupac. He wanted to be an actor. He auditioned for Juice. Pac beat him out for that Bishop thing. You understand what I'm saying? He wanted to be a part of that. Just go, and not so many years ago, when Puff started getting into that drugs and started using drug stuff, he started revamping some of Tupac's speeches. And if you think I'm lying, go look at the Grammy speech he did. Go look at a couple of speeches he did. It was the same exact words Tupac had said. That he was going to start this whole revolutionary of our people. That's Tupac. Black Lives Matter, the Black Liberation Movement, that was Pac. The Black Liberation Movement. Black Lives Matter? Come on, bro. This dude, everybody know that he had some kind of, I don't want to say disdain taste, but he had some kind of, I don't, jealousy of Tupac, bro.
Despite its impact, the documentary is not without noticeable gaps. One detail that stood out to many viewers was the minimal attention given to Kim Porter. As Diddy's longtime partner and the mother of his children, her presence in his life was undeniably significant, yet her story was only briefly touched on. She passed away unexpectedly in 2018 at the age of 47, with pneumonia listed as the official cause. However, the sudden nature of her death has continued to spark public discussion and unanswered questions. Given how deeply connected she was to Diddy for so many years, many felt that her limited inclusion left the documentary feeling incomplete.
Do you think that Diddy Kim Porter?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because of all the videotapes, because of the book, because of all the people she gave copies of her book to, or at least chapters. Because of everything that she had on him, because of the tape that she used to blackmail him into a relationship and into a raise of him being sodomized by Andre Harrell. And I am not saying that allegedly, because I heard her and Kim Muir talking about it in the booth of the bathroom while snorting cane.
She had a front row seat to his world, from his private relationships to his business decisions and the moments that never reached the public eye. Despite this, the documentary barely acknowledged her role. According to multiple accounts, her story was intentionally avoided, possibly because it was considered too sensitive or controversial to explore openly. Gene has said that he knew Kim personally and looked out for her on several occasions, firmly believing that she was aware of far more than most people realize. In his view, excluding her perspective removed a crucial layer of context, leaving the overall narrative feeling incomplete despite how central she was behind the scenes.
It's alleged that she did have a book and that her book was about to come out. And she was talking about all the perils, everything that she went through in the music business and with Diddy. All the men that they slept with together, because there were men that they slept with together. There were swinging times that they slept with together. I don't know, man. How do you put your girl through some shit like that? Or how you look at your girl and knowing that she's another dude? What kind of demonic mind you have to be that far gone where that shit don't bother you? And got rid of them. They swimming with the fishes.
Wow, man. So she was about to expose all that in her book, them sleeping with men together.
She was going to expose everything. I heard it was tell all.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Just curious, right? Did you know that Diddy and Kim had that type of relationship back then in real time?
Yeah. Because I know somebody personally that lives in Atlanta that was swinging with them. And I would never mention his name because he's a good brother and he knows my family down there. You know, he knows my family down there, and I would never, you know, put his name out there like that. You know, he's been in the music business. He done put a lot of groups, A-listed groups out there. Especially A-listed groups.
Was the other day they just did a whole thing with the girl that he was dating was the one that was putting the wiretaps and all of that out. It was a clear case. She came, okay, hey, I was the one who was doing the wiretaping and all of this, right? The tapping. So I knew about this before she came out and said that she was the one that was doing it. I was sitting there like, damn, he know everything she doing. He know her conversation. I'm sitting there like when I'm sitting there right there next to him, when I'm hearing them saying, this is what Shakira Stewart was saying to Kim Porter on the phone that made him mad. That made him so mad at Shakira Stewart when he went to L.A. Reid party, hit him with the chair. You don't think if he hit a man with a chair for dating this girl, you know, they gonna have a fight at home too. You know what I mean? That's why, you know, they say he busts her nose up on the boat. And have you ever been to Sandro Pay's see a brother play a mandolay? Remember that was in his song? I need a good woman next to me. So then it happened in Sandro Pay? Like that island. And then he bust her nose. They tried to make it seem like she slipped and fell. She slipped and fell and broke her nose. Nah, the truth was she slipped and fell and landed on his fist. Yeah, but that's what happens when you put your hands on females. I don't really have much respect for a man who's physically abusive towards women, man. I kind of think they be kind of suspect. I'd be like, man, you know, I girls